season tonight at Commonwealth. 3-4 Roughriders come off the bye, and their biggest win of the year to tackle the 7-1 Eskimos.
Well, the Riders' last game against BC, they created on defense 7 turnovers. That man right there, 27-year-old Ed Gainey, created 5 by himself, 4 interceptions, a Rider record, and 1 fumble recovery. Yes, he'll be matched up against Brandon Zylstra, who is back in the lineup, but the guy who may make the most impact on his return is Elmondo Sewell in the middle of that Edmonton Eskimo defense. He's got 10 quarterback pressures on the season, and he creates havoc in the middle.
Jason Moss's Eskimos come off their first loss in Winnipeg. They need a win to close out the first half of the season in first place in the West and to stay unbeaten at home. Chris Jones's team coming off that 41-8 win over BC, which he called the best performance by his team under their direction. Now they look for their first road win of the season. It's the first of 2 between these Western Division rivals. Last year, Edmonton won 2 of 3, and 2 of 3 went to overtime.
This one feels like playoff atmosphere.
Tyler Krapina kicks it off, and here we go with Chris Edwards on the return up across the 30-yard line. He is met by Cameron Onko at the 32, and Mike Riley will lead the Eskimos out on offense. He makes his 70th career start, 5 consecutive 300-yard games.
Really is incredible. 5 straight games, over 300 yards passing. He's got a 400-yarder in there as well. And against the Saskatchewan Roughriders in his career, 6-4.
Even in the loss last week, 441 yards of offense as they got it together in the second half and made it interesting. Here's Ladarius Perkins with the handoff, and he's dragged down by Mac Henry, the defensive tackle.
Now, you the guys talk about Brandon Zylstra back in the lineup. That's a big one, the receiving core for Mike Riley. Now, he's going to be playing a different position than he did before the injury, but having him back is huge. 400-yard games in his 6 outings. Joel Figueroa is going to play left tackle. I'm going to watch the matchup between Figueroa and Willie Jefferson tonight.
2 for Perkins, 2nd and 8. Roughriders forced 10 2-and-outs last week, or last game against BC. Pressure on here, and incomplete as Riley tried to check down at the last second. And it is a 2-and-out to start for the Eskimos.
Yeah, good push by Eddie Steele. Good push by Willie Jefferson inside. Both got pressure on Riley early. There's Eddie Steele, there's Willie Jefferson, and together on the left side of the offensive line against Joel Figueroa. Again, he gets a good push, gets in the face, and Steele gets there.
So Hugh O'Neill to punt. Christian Jones is back. He had 4 punt returns of at least 20 yards against the Lions. Short kick, and here is Christian Jones. Flag comes down, and he gets tossed down by Calvin McCarty after a 35-yard punt.
No yards. Edmonton number 37. 15-yard penalty. First down.
So Kenny Ladler within the 5-yard halo. So great field position start for Saskatchewan.
199th start for the veteran Kevin Glenn. 3-4 on the season, completing over 71% of his passes and averaging 300 yards per game. But it's been very different on the road as opposed to playing at home.
Posted his 50th career 300-yard game against the Lions. Starting at the 53 and a handoff inside. Cameron Marshall gets tossed down at midfield. John Chick gets involved early, and Gary Peters moves up.
Take a look at the starters around Kevin Glenn for that offense. Look at Deron Carter out there with 4 touchdowns in the last 3 games for the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Naaman Roosevelt still their leading receiver. They'll play with 2 Canadians in Dembski and Rob Bagg because for the 2nd straight game, Derek Dennis moves into guard. Bruce Campbell play a 2nd start at left tackle.
Passing down for the Riders, number 3 ranked in that department. Pressure on Glenn, and he is going to step up across the line of scrimmage, but contained well short of the first down. Alex Hoffman-Ellis came in there to finish him off.
Boy, two good defenses in this one tonight. The Edmonton Eskimos, top defense in the league, even though they've gone through all kinds of injuries on both sides of the ball. In Saskatchewan, improving defensively week in and week out. Actually, statistically, Saskatchewan's defense up there with the top teams in the league.
Newcomer Jamil Smith has dropped back on the punt return for Edmonton. Josh Bartell looks for the corner. And here is Smith. Gets a block. 40-yard punt. He brings it back across the 20 with a flag down on the play. We'll sort it out when we come back. Mike Riley, the leader. No yards penalty against Saskatchewan. Edmonton will scrimmage at their 27-yard line. Fake to Perkins, inside it goes, and big Duke Williams on the run to the outside. And Williams across midfield steps out at the Roughrider 49-yard line. It's a 34-yard gain.
Duke Williams got back into the lineup last week against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers for the Edmonton Eskimos and was the leading receiver for Edmonton. They've had a 100-yard receiver in every game. It's been a different guy often, but last week it was Williams.
4 catches, 110 against Winnipeg for the big target. Out of Auburn.
Procedure. Edmonton number 66. 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
Right guard Matt O'Donnell gets the procedure call.
66, Matt O'Donnell moves the Eskimos back to the Saskatchewan 54. First and 15.
Jason Moss yesterday mentioning it would not be difficult to motivate his team with the green and white coming in. There's a handoff to Perkins, bumps it outside with some room, and he gets the penalty yardage and a couple more back.
I mentioned this Rider defense has improved every week, and the guy that's been consistent, the most consistent, has been Willie Jefferson on the edge. Combined quarterback sacks and pressures at 20. One of the top guys in the league. They get Eric Dargan back at linebacker for Derek Moncrief, who was hurt in practice. And there he is, Ed Gainey. Rider record 4 interceptions against the BC Lions.
Involved in 5 of the 7 takeaways in the game. Second down, an open man, and a completion to Shamad Chambers, who gets his first start of the year. Chris Getzlaff going on the injured list.
Yeah, Chambers is a wide receiver and finally healthy. He came off the 6-game injured just as Chris Getzlaff unfortunately was going on, but for the Edmonton Eskimos offense, they're real happy to get a lot of these weapons back. Darius Bowman probably a week away. Boy, the Riders, you mentioned the series last year, 2 of those 3 games going to overtime. The Riders are, I'm sure, defensively happy to not face the Darius Bowman, who last year combined for 19 catches and almost 400 yards in those 3 games.
So Chambers, former Rider, comes up just short. And it's a 3rd down play. Mike Riley stays in. Edmonton 16 of 17. Kevin Glenn joked this week that only Mike Riley likes the 3rd down situations. He fumbled here, and even if they get it back, I don't think he had enough, but the Roughriders come up with the ball.
Yeah,
even Mike Riley doesn't like short yardage on that play. Well, they're still unpiling, but the signal is Saskatchewan football. Riley never got his hands on it. And at the bottom of the pile is that Esamaramare with it.
Here, look how low he gets. He's right underneath the pile in Sorensen.
Well, the Riders take over on the unsuccessful 3rd down gamble. It goes as a fumble recovery for Saskatchewan. And Rob Bagg a catch to get Saskatchewan back into Edmonton territory.
I think Rob Bagg is most effective when he's playing slot back. When he's playing inside, closer to the quarterback, he's a guy who has a great football IQ, understands where to be, the timing and time and space, when to be there. 16-yard gain. I like Rob Bagg inside.
Bagg and Dembski go to the sidelines. They go to a double tight end set. 1st down. Here's Glenn. Got Naaman Roosevelt open, and Roosevelt down inside the 30-yard line.
Let's go!
Good pickup by Kevin Glenn to recognize Naaman Roosevelt right here in that slot position. Is going to layer himself across the middle and catch Edmonton in a defensive look where safety Josh Woodman is up at the line of scrimmage, and they've got Gary Peters back in the middle who's late getting to that deep throw.
28 for Roosevelt, 7th in the league in receiving. A first down for the Roughriders at the Edmonton 27-yard line. Here's Glenn with the screen set up for Cameron Marshall. He gets a block and a cutback and forced out inside the 10. They'll mark him out at the 8.
Great call here for the Saskatchewan Roughriders offensively to take advantage of the pressure, throw it behind the pressure from the D-line, and let Cameron Marshall go to work.
Marshall with a touchdown on the ground and through the air against BC. First and goal in the first trip to the red zone tonight. Short drop, end zone, throw, and Dembski can't bring it down. In coverage was Forrest Hightower.
Well, I mentioned Armando Sewell back in the middle of that defense. They also have a newcomer in John Chick after the trade. We'll talk more about that as this game goes on. Newcomers in the linebacking core, at least the starters. Alex Hoffman-Ellis in the middle and Terrence Bullitt at that strong side. And then you take a look at Forrest Hightower. Just made that play in the back of the end zone on Nick Dembski.
5 new starters for the first time for Edmonton this season. Make it 27 different starters for the Edmonton defense this year. Second and goal into the end zone for Roosevelt. Got it. Highlight reel touchdown catch for Naaman Roosevelt.
Boy, it looked like Kevin Glenn overthrew him. This is new. Okay. They're out of the blocks. Naaman Roosevelt runs a post route, but then he straightens it up, and I thought Kevin Glenn overthrew him. What a great catch. One-hander, keeps it off the turf. All touchdowns under review, but I'm not sure that one touched. What a catch by Roosevelt.
4th touchdown grab of the year. So more points off a turnover for the Roughriders, who had 14 against BC. And they strike first here at Commonwealth.
He went and got that one.
5 plays, 71 yards, and a dive into the end zone for the Roughriders to take the lead midway through the first quarter on Friday.
His second effort on this post and then straighten it up to the back of the end zone as he's got to dig to go get this football, then lays out and stabs it with the one hand. What a catch by Naaman Roosevelt. Good route running, gets him in behind coverage in Gary Peters, but that's a special catch at the top end of the route.
15 touchdown pass for Kevin Glenn on the year. Just the second on the road, but a good start here for the visitors. And he's made more than his share of the wow catch so far this year. Blouchard and Edwards are back. It's Edwards from the 17. Little stutter step, not going very far, and dropped at the 25. 8 takeaways in the last 2 games, 5 by Ed Geedy. And with more, here's Sarah Orleski.
Well, Chris, Ed told me heading into this game that he's wanted to make a name for himself in this league for a while now. This is his 6th season. He certainly had people talking after that last game against BC. When I asked him what worked so well, he went all proud papa on me. He pointed to his 10-month-old son, Grayson, and he said that this was the first time that Grayson had been at a game that he was playing in, and he wanted to make it memorable. Now, Chris Jones said that Gainey is a good player, but he didn't mince words after the first BC game. and said that he can't have him playing scared. Now, nobody's expecting the same sort of production in this sort of game, but it'll be interesting to see how he's able to follow up his last game.
Absolutely challenged by the coach to step up his game, and he did that and much more.
I mean, you need your veterans and best players to be the best players, and 6-year vet Ed Gainey stepped up in a big way against the Lions.
Preston Butler stepped up on the last pass intended for Kenny Stafford, 2nd and 10. And Riley hit as he delivers, jump ball, and Williams takes that one down.
Boy, Riley got hit hard on this one. He had to step in and pay the price for this completion. But we've seen 13 do this over and over again. Watch Mike Riley take the hit.
AC Leonard drills him. The ball floated a bit, but Williams open enough to make the catch for 23. A fake inside, and that pass complete to Zylstra. There is Ed Gainey stepping up on him, and that's a marquee matchup tonight.
He's brought down to the 54-yard line. It'll be 2nd and 5.
400-yard games in his 6 outings. Missed 2, the last 2. But getting Brandon Zylstra back in the lineup, huge for Mike Riley.
And even with missing a pair of games, Zylstra in the top 10, ranked 8th in receiving yards. 2nd down, they hand it off, and Perkins gets stacked up. Short gain as he crosses midfield, but it will be 3rd down in a punt situation for Edmonton.
Chris Jones called the exact right defense right there to stop that play. He loaded the line of scrimmage, brought his linebackers up, basically canceled every gap. Did not give Edmonton a chance to run for that 1st down.
So 2 punts and a fumble for the Eskimos on their first 3 possessions. Good line drive boot by O'Neill into the corner, 47 yards, and it is covered well by the Eskimos, who have not surrendered a big play return yet this year. But Kevin Glenn goes back on offense after a touchdown toss to Naaman Roosevelt to give Saskatchewan.
It's Edmonton, a crowd of over 40,000 tonight. Not sure how many Rider fans are here in total, but big crowd at Commonwealth.
Different shade of green. Here's a handoff up the middle, and a big gain here. Cameron Marshall rumbles up across the 30-yard line.
Cameron Marshall, in the 2 games against BC, the Lions basically, even though they won one of them convincingly, that was the last one, the Lions and Solomon Elimimian really talked Saskatchewan out of the run game. 5 carries in the first one, 12 in the second to Cameron Marshall. Balance in the offense important for this Saskatchewan team.
23-yard run is 4th over 20 this year. Now Glenn gonna take a shot for Carter, and it's broken up on the corner by Johnny Adams.
Well, you got to imagine that at some point in the season, DBs are going to have enough of watching receivers make highlight reel catches over and above them. Guys like S.J. Green that we'll see tomorrow night, and the great receivers in the league. And Carter's made some beauties, and one of the best in a long time this year back in Mosaic. But Johnny Adams said, okay, time for the corner to step up and make a play. That was a nice one.
He's starting to lock it down. 16 defensive plays in the last 2 games for Adams. At the boundary corner, 2nd and 10. Glenn for McCarthy Grant, brought down quickly. Kenny Ladler is on the scene. And speaking of active defensive players for Edmonton, has anybody been more active than 37 in recent weeks?
Well, yeah, beyond active to making the big plays. I mean, Ladler is leading this team in defensive plays, and it's all over the board. He's got the knockdowns, the interceptions, 3, which leads the Edmonton Eskimos in 3rd in the CFL. He's just making plays all over the field.
So Bartel to punt. Jamil Smith is back. 47-yard punt. Jamil Smith trying to get outside and turns the corner. Up over midfield and finally driven out at the Saskatchewan 48-yard line. It's a 35-yard return in Jamil Smith's Edmonton debut.
Jamil Smith, I could see the wall return setting up. You can see, like, right at the top of your screen how the Edmonton blockers are trying to get outside leverage on every one of the cover guys for Saskatchewan so that Jamil Smith could get outside and get onto that wall. He gets there with his great speed.
Town.
So a good field position start for Mike Riley. Back to throw over the middle and too high for Zylstra. And guess who got a hand on it? Number 11.
Well, it's impossible to expect, you know, the game he had against the BC Lions. I mean, that's a dream game for a DB to get 4 in one game. Only Rod Hill has got more at 5 in one game in CFL history, and almost had one.
And Hills came in 1990. A long time between big interception games. 2nd and 10, and that one incomplete. Bryant Mitchell went airborne, but unable to bring that one down. Quick 2 and out.
There's a former Winnipeg Blue Bomber, Rod Hill. 5 interceptions against the Hamilton Tiger Cats September 9th, 1990. 4 interceptions for Gainey against BC in Week 8. A Rider record, just shy of tying that CFL record.
Riders had only had 5 takeaways in the previous 6 games, and Gainey matched that in one evening on a block here by Willie Jefferson. And Hugh O'Neill's going to try and eat it. He can't. Jefferson, scoop, score. Touchdowns, Saskatchewan. First block of the year for the Roughriders, and it's a touchdown for a former Eskimo.
Real wide to the left of the formation, the punt formation for Edmonton. And he just unblocked.
So a team that had only 7 points off turnovers going into the Lions game now has 28 in the last 5 quarters. Flag down on the convert.
Hey, man, shout it out, man. So 409, BMT, man. Holding it down, baby. I love you, mama. I love you. Hey, Houston, be safe, man. Houston, be safe, man. Don't worry about that Harvey shit, man.
Pyramiding Edmonton. That penalty is declined. The convert is good.
Hey, we've talked a lot about Willie Jefferson and his plays on defense. Just the athletic ability, the speed of Jefferson, the wingspan. He's got that. But he is one thing that not a lot of people talk about is his football acumen. The guy knows when and where to be. I mean, understands that if he's unblocked off the edge, he's going to continue on. He's got that great reach, and he gets right in front of that punt. Almost could have tackled Hugh O'Neill before he even kicked it. He was there so quickly. And then there's a little more athleticism. He just scoops it up. That's a big man just reaching down, scooping it up and scoring like that at 6'6", 240.
So 14 points off turnovers, and the Roughriders are making themselves feel at home, aren't they?
I'm doing it for y'all, man. Love y'all, man. Can't do it without the city, man. I'm the mayor, baby.
A new mayor.
A little challenge to Odell, I think.
I guess so.
So the Eskimos have to climb out of a hole here, and Edwards popped as he crossed the 35-yard line. Big hit by a former Edmonton Eskimo, a newcomer here in Milton on the teams.
And all of a sudden, a different sense of urgency here from Mike Riley.
Well, they got behind a couple of touchdowns in the first half in Winnipeg. Rallied but ran out of time. See how they respond here.
Look at all 8 of those attempts. He's had a defensive lineman either hit him or in his face.
No first quarter points last week. That throw behind, dangerous. Mitchell makes the catch. Had he not, that would have been a live football.
Well, AC Leonard went a long way to put a big hit on him. Brian Mitchell. You're right. It was definitely backward. So this bounces wide. It was a tough catch to make too by Mitchell. But good hustle. Watch AC Leonard coming down number 99. That's a big hit.
They get 5, 2nd and 5. And an open receiver, Kenny Stafford can't make the catch. A flag came down. And was Stafford contacted?
That's right in the area that it would be illegal contact that may have turned into PI.
Illegal contact, Saskatchewan number 1. 10-yard penalty, first down.
Javon Johnson called.
Well, let's take a look at this, because if Kenny Stafford down here by himself is contacted and then the ball's thrown to him, that turns into pass interference and it's point of foul. You can see the little hook there by Javon Johnson. He knows it.
So it gives the Eskimos a first down up at their 53. Here comes more pressure. Riley ducks underneath it. Dargan misses him, and Riley will throw it away. And a flag comes down in the secondary as well. Now, was that a catchable football? And I think there's an argument from the Roughriders sidelines, but a missed opportunity on the sack for Eric Dargan.
Again, Chris Jones loading up the line of scrimmage.
Illegal contact, Saskatchewan number 45. 10-yard penalty, first down.
That play's made by Mike Riley. Mike Riley, by avoiding the sack by Eric Dargan, created enough time so his receiver is illegally contacted down the field by Casey Rogers.
Well, first down, they swing it to the near side. And Perkins will get dragged down at the Edmonton bench. Good pursuit by Creston Butler, who's made a couple of first quarter plays on defense.
Offensive coordinator Carson Walsh has now changed up his game plan a little bit, it looks like to me, with a few of those wide screen passes to receivers. Saw Bryant Mitchell with one early in this drive, trying to get the ball out of Mike Riley's hands, avoid some of that pressure, get good success if he can on first down. Now, it didn't happen yardage wise on that last first down, but he's making some adjustments.
Second and long here from the Rough Rider 50-yard line. Riley going through the reads underneath for Corey Watson, and he is going to drag a tackler to first down yardage. Good hustle by Watson to at least get it close.
One of the reasons the Eskimos are 7-1, and I know they're coming off the loss to Winnipeg, is that they understand the sense of urgency necessary. They've got themselves now in scoring range, field goal range at the very least.
Going to be third down and less than a yard as we wrap up the first quarter here. What a quarter for the visitors. A Roosevelt touchdown and a block punt. Scoop and finish it. Third down play upcoming. Third and less than a yard. Already 0 for 1 on the night in that department. Roughriders were -3 prior to the BC game, and all of a sudden are +5, but a first down sneak there by Mike Riley as they move deeper into Rough Rider territory.
Right to tempo, calling the plays on the line of scrimmage, trying to keep the momentum of this drive alone going.
Now Zylstra on the waggle to the wide side of the field. They hand it off inside, and nothing doing there for Ladarius Perkins. Toby Antigua crashing down to make the tackle.
Boy, he's coming on. Toby Antigua tied with Willie Jefferson in the sack department for Saskatchewan, and over the last 3 games has really stepped up, played opposite, and rotated with AC Leonard.
2 sacks, 3 pressures against BC, and a couple of tackles. Second and 9. Riley stands in, throws Zylstra the catch, and Zylstra breaking tackles. Touchdown. Hard fought yards after the catch for a 24-yard touchdown.
Starts with protection, but let's make sure that Brandon Zylstra crosses the plane with the ball. Knee touches. They may take this back and put it on the 1-yard line. They signal touchdown for sure. I think that right knee touches.
Mike Edom just dragged him down. He tries to stretch out.
Left knee, and he didn't cross the plane. Go down on the 1-yard line. That play starts with protection. Mike Riley gets an extra steamboat back there. Allows Zylstra to get over the middle.
Tom Valesi's
After
got the
review,
boot.
the player was down short of the goal line. The ball we placed on the 1-yard line.
That's first and goal at the 1, but still the kind of play that can really stoke this Edmonton offense.
Absolutely, and it's going to end up being a dig route right here. Little outside release, working on Cresden Butler. He opens up, coming inside that deep coverage from Mike Edom, and then fights off the tackle, but just can't quite get to the goal line.
First and goal. Mike Riley in now. Riley with his 6th touchdown of the year. Flag on the play. Usually of the offside variety.
Offside. Saskatchewan. That penalty be declined. Touchdown.
And Riley has touchdowns in the last 5 games.
Off the right side of that O-line. Big Matt O'Donnell at 6'11", 350. That's probably a good choice to follow him in. Get that extra yard.
10 plays, 72 yards. And a response by the Eskimos after the first quarter domination by Saskatchewan. And this one blocked. And scooped up in the end zone. Duron Carter. How far can he bring it back?
He's coming out.
Here he comes. If he goes the distance, it's 2 the other way. And he's going to do just that. How about this? Duron Carter backing in for a pair of points. You don't see that very often.
Like never. Wow.
And suddenly, that Edmonton momentum.
First of all, when you take a look at field goals from this distance, you don't have your best athletes to cover these for the Edmonton Eskimos. But Duron Carter has so much confidence in his athletic ability. He's going to take this left and draw all the cover guys that direction, get them all turning to the left, and then take it all the way back around to the field. And he has to lose a ton of ground in the end zone to do it.
I think Steve Daniel has a new stats category, the missed convert return. 113 yards for Duron Carter. And it's been a bit of a
Illegal
nightmare
kickoff
for
out of
Hugh O'Neill.
bounds. Saskatchewan. Edmonton. Ball will be placed at the 45-yard line.
He's had a punt blocked, a convert blocked, and now an illegal kickoff that gives Saskatchewan the football at the Rough Rider 45.
Boy, such a tremendous athlete. And when he gets back and around, now he's got the angle, and he's got some big men trying to cover him and catch him and try and tackle him, and it's not going to happen. I mean, that speed and burst. 113 yards will be the official mark, but he ran about 140.
In that rare time where you score and you get the ball right back. And a completion to Roosevelt up at the 52-yard line, give him 8.
Carter's got to try and catch his breath. He's not out there with the offense just yet. Still trying to catch his breath after that long run, get a little bit of water, get back.
Successful convert. It would have been a 7-point game. They missed the convert and give up 2, and now Edmonton trails by 10. Second and short. Handoff inside. Marshall crashing through for a first down into Edmonton territory. Running hard downhill for 9.
And right into the strength, testing out Armando Sewell's ability to hold that middle. Mike Moore also trying to get free to get there to the tackle, but a good run by Marshall.
Marshall now 3 carries for 34 early in the game. This time they faked Dan Roosevelt. Dropped the ball, a late hit there. And you would expect the flag to come out against Josh Woodman.
Yeah, that'll be a late hit. Josh Woodman could have avoided this. Ball was dropped. In fact, it looked like Naaman Roosevelt was basically reacting to the drop when he gets hit. It's a player safety issue, and that'll be called every time now.
Major foul, unnecessary roughness. Edmonton number 7. 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
And that moves the Roughriders down to the 34.
Woodman knows it. Said to his
Like
teammates,
Roosevelt
yeah.
didn't make the catch, anticipating a big hit, and then when he wasn't ready for one, Woodman stepped up, and a costly 15 yards against Edmonton. First down, play action fake, and the catch made by Bakari Grant. Quick close on the play.
Well, it's a 7-win Edmonton team against a 3-win Saskatchewan team. But when you take a look at how the Riders have improved and just the statistics, some of the big ones, points for, points against, look at how close they are. There's such a fine line in this league and at this level between winning and losing. 3 wins versus 7, and yet look at the numbers. In fact, they lead in some of those key categories. This team is improving.
3 for Grant, 2nd and 7. Here's Kevin Glenn for Rob Bagg. Drilled after the catch at the 21, but it's a Rough Rider first down.
Good throw by Kevin Glenn. It's a long wide field throw on the curl. There's lots of traffic over there. To have to knife this ball in there.
Second catch for Bagg. And Vernon Adams makes his Saskatchewan Rough Rider debut. From the 21, he'll swing it to Roosevelt. Going to get to the edge, and that gets dumped down at the 15. It's a little unusual, isn't it?
That's interesting. Brand new to the roster, Vernon Adams Jr. over from Montreal. And well, I guess he's had chance for a few practices because the Riders coming off the bye, but not many.
Interesting at this point in the field, and this is maybe why a quarterback option, but Armando Sewell shuts the door, and it'll be 3rd down.
Armando Sewell missed last week, and a bit of a rib. They've got to tape that up for him.
Boy, long break there before the decision to send the field goal unit on. It's 3rd and at least 2, but I think Chris Jones thought about it with Vernon Adams.
Sewell made it just too far to attempt it. Take the points, especially on the road.
So Crepina trying to make it a 13-point Rough Rider lead. From 21 yards out. It's good.
20-yard field goal by
So the Rough Riders help stem the tide here. The pressure's been on Mike Riley in this first half.
A couple of swing screens to receivers, but haven't seen Ladarius Perkins really in the screen yet.
Eskimos take it at the 35. A pump from Riley. Down the sidelines, and Duke Williams out-battles Casey Rogers. A flag down. Rough Riders signaling offensive pass interference. Pretty good battle between the two of them. And
Pass
it is coming back.
Edmonton number 81. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Let's take a look. Press coverage. Casey Rogers right down the rail. Boy, there's not much there.
is there?
Not much there at all. Maybe in the fact that was right by the Rider bench, there was a little push to the refs there to make that call.
We've seen Duke Williams with more than that and get away with it this year.
Well, all receivers and DBs will do a little of the grabbing, a little bit of the arm bar, just long enough, not long enough to draw the penalty, but try and slow the momentum a little bit. And hand fighting down that rail is, in my books, okay. I don't really see a penalty there.
Carried by Perkins, gets the 10 back, so it'll be 2nd and 10. Back at the 35. Eskimos reset. Here comes Willie Jefferson. Riley got tripped up and play is halted.
Plays made by Willie Jefferson. And Willie Jefferson right down here at the bottom of the line. Watch how he attacks on an angle and disrupts the play. They wanted to get a screen here to Calvin McCarty out of the backfield. And because Jefferson was so quick in the backfield and in Riley's face, forcing him to step up, he trips and gets stumbled up in there. Register another sack.
Hugh O'Neill just got that away. On a hop for Christian Jones around midfield. He'll step out at the Eskimo bench at the Edmonton 54-yard line. More. Let's join Sarah Orleski.
Well, Chris, I asked Jason Moss whether or not he remembered that game, and originally he said no, that was a long time ago. But like most former players, give them a couple minutes, and sure, it came back to him. What he remembered about that game, that he got pulled. He wanted to run a specific play. He threw an interception on it, and then head coach Danny Machocha pulled him after it, and Ricky Ray finished the game. As for Kevin Glenn, he can't believe that he played against the former Eskimos head coach. The last time he played here was the green and white. But he said he wants to remind people, as he was joking, he's not actually old. That's only in football years, which are kind of like dog years. In real life, off the field, he's a very cool dad at just age 38.
Well, that 2002 season.
If football years are dog years, he's played 17. Did that make him 119 or something?
Well, and remember that season, Jason Moss gets pulled in that game. Ricky Ray comes out.
Saskatchewan number 57. 5-yard penalty. Remains 2nd down.
Ricky Ray comes out and replaces Jason Moss in that game. Ricky Ray orchestrates a comeback, come from behind win for Edmonton that game, and went to back-to-back Grey Cups, winning in 03. It was the beginning of Ricky Ray's career.
And Glenn on a collision course with another former Eskimo quarterback. One behind Tracy Ham on the all-time touchdown list for 8th overall. 2nd and 5, underneath it goes, and had to get beyond the 45. Doesn't look like he did it. And it looks like Cameron Marshall's going to be a yard short. First down stick at the 44. They mark it at the 45. And it looks like the Roughriders are going for it on 3rd and 1.
Edmonton's having some substitution issues.
Glenn to the sidelines, and once again Vernon Adams in short yardage. This is where we expected to see him tonight. 30 yards off the left side. No, he did not. Or did he? He did fall forward, and out of that pile somehow he found a crease. And it is a Saskatchewan first down.
Yeah, you were right. You were right. He was stopped on the initial surge. Sewell just shoots the gap. Causes the problems initially. Alex Hoffman-Ellis is in there. But that second effort, Vernon Adams just kind of finds a little crease, and there you see it's a good spot.
Set of downs. Kevin Glenn. And that one sails over the head of Marshall, incomplete.
Now, before Kevin Glenn came out of the last series for Vernon Adams, he was 8 of 10 for 95 yards and a touchdown. Looked like he was in that rhythm and in that groove, and some will argue that making that substitution hurts a quarterback's rhythm to let Vernon Adams go for 2-3 plays. It's something that Chris Jones did when he was here in Edmonton.
Yeah, nothing new.
But there's a pro and con to it.
2nd and 10 from the 44. 3.5 to go here, first half. And he stands in, throws a big collision. Roosevelt hangs on, and there is a flag.
On the flag by number 82, Nathan Roosevelt. There is a flag.
Roosevelt's been the prime target here in the first half.
Illegal contact, Edmonton number 20. That penalty be declined. First down.
Johnny Adams flag, but they'll stay with this tough catch by Roosevelt.
Naaman Roosevelt is doing it all tonight. The spectacular in the back of the end zone, the one-hander, the tough ones over the middle, the tough one right there. Tremendous courage. He saw the hit coming from Chris Edwards. Didn't bother him.
5th catch, 62 yards for Roosevelt, and that touchdown over the middle. This one incomplete. Tip, but just out of the reach of Josh Woodman, the safety.
Arjun Colhoun is on the sideline getting some treatment. That's why Chris Edwards is playing the wide side corner for the Edmonton Eskimos.
Mike Benavides mentioned earlier today they have not been able to stay with the same group on defense for more than 3 quarters all season long. And another change here in the first half with Colhoun's return short-lived. 2nd and 10. Glenn underneath, another first down. Catch by Roosevelt. Tackle by Christoph Mulamba-Chimanga. We hit the 3-minute warning. Roughriders with the lead. Thank you, Rod. Roughriders leading by 13. Back in the red zone. 3rd trip tonight. 1 for 2. They're the red zone production. Glenn throws that behind the intended target, Dembski, and that one almost intercepted.
I think Kevin Glenn wanted the corner route to Deron Carter here, but Armando Sewell didn't give it. Sewell starts from back here, and he's going to loop around on a bit of a stunt here. And as he loops around, Glenn wants the corner route to the left side of the formation, and here comes Sewell right through. And when he does, Glenn can't step up, and he says, you know what, I got to check it down, and is behind the target to Dembski.
2nd and 10. Marshall stays in the block. That ball skipped. And it is Johnny Adams with it. Did that not hit the ground?
Or did it hit Naaman Roosevelt's hands?
Well, apparently it did hit the ground, and it is the 2nd interception of the year for Johnny Adams.
Well, let's take a look. This will give you the best look. Off the hands? No, that never touched the ground.
And a big stop and takeaway by the Edmonton defense on that play.
Boy, did they need that. A couple of plays in this first half by corner Johnny Adams.
Well, the Eskimos take over at their 5. Edmonton has scored points in the final 3 minutes of the first half in 8 straight games. That pass for Bryant Mitchell draws a flag. Pass interference against Casey Rogers.
Bryant Mitchell with that flag.
Pass interference. Saskatchewan number 45. 10-yard penalty. Automatic. First down.
Casey Rogers flag. Pass interference. 1st and 10, 15.
Quick slant by Bryant Mitchell. Early contact from Casey Rogers.
Just a beat before the football arrived. Gives Edmonton a little breathing room. Fake to Perkins. It's Corey Watson. Antigua takes him down, but drives him forward close to another first down.
Yeah, I agree. That Casey Rogers PI there, that one, I think I agree with the call. The early one, not so much, but time here for Mike Riley, most importantly. Try and cut into this lead.
2nd and inches. And he'll plunge forward. Behind Danny Crew, Justin Sorensen, fresh set of downs for the Eskimos with under 2 minutes to go. Clock running. First down at the 28. Here comes pressure. Riley stands in, underneath it goes, and Zylstra buried at the 34.
He's going to get up to the line. Let's show you quickly, though, that Mike Riley's starting to feel that pressure. Here's a guy who's as calm as they come in the pocket, but look at this. Little hop there, little hop step. He's kind of a little bit jittery with the football. He's feeling that pressure closing around him.
2nd and 3. To the outside, and is it caught? Chris Jones helping call it incomplete. Duke Williams almost caught it lying down at the Saskatchewan bench, but now 3rd down.
Ed Gainey had his hands on that.
That's twice in this first half he's touched the football. And Williams, I guess
he caught it out of bounds.
Caught it out of bounds, but well, the Eskimos will have to punt. Christian Jones back. Line drive by O'Neill. Jones with a return up to the 50-yard line. Hoffman Ellis with the tackle. 43-yard punt. CFL on TSN action continues tomorrow. Doubleheader. We've got the Lions and Red Blacks. Action gets underway 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific, and then it's the Argonauts and the Stampeders. 9 o'clock Eastern, 6 Pacific across the TSN network. So 74 seconds remaining in this first half for Kevin Glenn to perhaps enhance the Rider lead. And he goes back to Roosevelt, who makes another catch, dragged down by Gary Peters.
Kevin Glenn is targeting that side of the field and Naaman Roosevelt a ton. That's the 8th time he's been targeted. He has 7 catches, coming off a game where he was targeted 3 times and had all 3, caught them all.
81 for Roosevelt, second down, pass caught. Deron Carter's got a first down, and Adams brings him down. But Saskatchewan's got a first down at the Edmonton 42.
And I think Kevin Glenn is playing like he's at home. He's playing like he's in a rhythm. And you take a look at the numbers and compare them to last year and how much he has helped this team increase their point totals, passing touchdowns, same as the entire season last year.
152 yards passing and make it more after that catch by Bakari Grant. Knocked down by the safety Josh Woodman.
You heard him say it off the top. We've got to try and create the same sort of atmosphere that we have in home games. Not necessarily in the stadium, but everything they do, their routine. I wonder if they brought some furniture from Kevin Glenn's house and just put it in the hotel. Twice at home he's had 4 touchdown throw games.
First down. Underneath, and that should have been intercepted. In and out of the hands of Forrest Hightower.
That looked like a bust of some kind. Bakari Grant looked like he was the intended target there as they just sort of changed motioned it, but Hightower reads it and jumps that curl basically without looking. He just forgot to catch it. He had a lot of running room too if he does hang on to that.
Riders 6 for 11 on second down conversions. Number 3 in the league at 51.3%. Coming in, pressure from Odell Willis, and it's shoveled away. Cameron Marshall, big room to roam, touchdown. Kevin Glenn at his point guard best.
And Cameron Marshall out of Arizona State, maybe his best play as a Rider. And it's not just what he does after. Here he is right here, first in protection. Cameron Marshall, watch him pick up the blitz, stepping inside. He's got to make sure he's got that. He's got the blitz taken care of now. Kevin Glenn's in trouble. He turns around, and that little underhand pitch picks it up and over. Pay dirt.
Touchdown of the year for Marshall. Crapina adds the extra point. A huge first half, but concern on the sidelines as Kevin Glenn gets some attention. That touchdown pass moves Kevin Glenn even with Tracy Ham on the all-time touchdown list.
What's up, Pops? What's up, Mom? Love y'all, B. What's up? Love y'all back home. Love y'all.
Let's take a look and see what happened to Kevin Glenn, why he's getting some treatment on the sideline. It's closed down around him. Odell Willis was trying to chase him from behind here. One of those Edmonton Eskimo defenders got him in the eye or the face.
Yeah, it looks like he got swatted through the face mask.
Was it Bullet or was it?
I think it's Terrence Bullock, too. May have poked him in the eye inadvertently. And helicoptering into the end zone for a spectacular touchdown is Cameron Marshall, capping a 5-play, 60-yard touchdown drive. Chris Edwards up to the 30, 10 seconds remaining as Kevin Glenn tries to focus on next up as he moves up the all-time list and now tied with Tracy Ham, 8th in touchdown passes all time.
Great Edmonton quarterback Tracy Ham in Montreal.
The Eskimos going to take a knee. They'll have to do it one more time. A shocking 20-point deficit for the home fans, and Jason Moss here looked like they were starting to respond with the touchdown, but that 2-point misconvert the other way retilted the momentum of the first half, and it's a big one for the visitors as they look for their first road win of the season. Halftime, let's join Rod Smith.
Numbers in the first half, and it is looking more and more like the prototypical Chris Jones defense, creating turnovers, creating havoc, and putting pressure on the opposing quarterback. Mike Riley's taking some hits tonight.
And the Roughriders with the lead get the ball first, second half. Greg Morris back along with Keenan LaFrance, who was an Eskimo beater last year in the Eastern Final. And it will be LaFrance from the 15. Ran for 157 against the Green and Gold in the East Final. Put Ottawa in the Grey Cup, and Naaman Roosevelt, huge first half.
Yeah, Naaman Roosevelt put on his hard hat in that first half and went to work, and he was targeted a grand total of 8 times. Caught 7 of them. One of the prettiest touchdowns you'll see. Back of the end zone. But they're working the short side of the field, make some tough catches here, but this one,
enjoyed good field position tonight. They start at the 40. And over the middle, Bakari Grant's got a catch and a big play on the opening play from scrimmage in the second half, all the way to the Edmonton 44-yard line.
Well, they established Cameron Marshall in the first half, so this little play-action fake and then throw is the key for Kevin Glenn. The timing's there to get it to Bakari Grant early enough that he can turn, make a move, sink down there, get his hips low so that Josh Woodman can't come up and make the tackle.
Mark it at the 45. It's a 25-yard pickup. And Bakari Grant has his 4th catch of the night. And off inside Marshall, and John Jett erases him. Former Rough Rider makes some noise on that play. It is Eskimo debut.
John Chick will get down into that sprinter stance, and he has to slide along the line of scrimmage to make sure Glenn doesn't pull it. That's his first responsibility. Then go to the run. Hails Cameron Marshall in the backfield.
4th time he's played his former team. 3 sacks in the first 3 meetings, including a 2-sack game about this time last year. Kevin Glenn's going to take a shot, looking for Carter, who's got it, but not inbounds. Incomplete.
Glenn takes a hit here, and Teron Carter goes to the sideline official. Was it just an inch? Was I just an inch out of bounds?
So Armando Sewell gets flagged for roughing the passer.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at. I thought that this hit was a little close. Sewell right here, and Glenn steps into this. I thought he had lots of time to throw it. Yeah, that's just late. Armando Sewell could have come off that hit. Took 2 or 3 steps to get to him. Just the 5th hit on Kevin Glenn, though, in this game.
First down, counter to Marshall, and down to the 28. Has 3.
Take a look at that change to move Derek Dennis into guard and put Bruce Campbell out at tackle. Derek Dennis, the outstanding lineman in the league last year, at tackle, but can play guard. Boy, they've been better. Last week, just 2 sacks allowed and 2 quarterback pressures. That was a season high when they made this move. And tonight, just 5 hits on Kevin Glenn. No sacks recorded yet by the Edmonton Eskimos.
and 7. Pocket collapsing, and Glenn taken down. Daquan Bowers got enough to knock him off balance. The officials conferring about whether or not he got the face mask, but I don't see a flag. Kevin Glenn arguing for one.
Looks like that's ruled a quarterback sack by number 9.
Daquan Bowers.
Daquan Bowers
Works one-on-one with Peter Diakowski. Well, he's saying it's a hit to the head. I mean,
Jarius Jackson wants Chris Jones to throw the challenge flag.
clearly in his face mask, Jarius Jackson saying, and Chris Jones with just one challenge now is going to hold on to it. And with a big lead.
And in field goal range already. Saw a couple of challenges successful last night, but it resulted in touchdowns, just the field goals, but this was blocked. A wild night. Alex Hoffman-Ellis has got it. And now to the 45-yard line. Third block of the year for the Edmonton Eskimos. Who gets there? Is it Kenny Ladler?
Yep.
Yes, it is.
He's accepted the help. He wants to get better every day.
A big play there to get the ball back in the hands of the Eskimos. And Kelvin McCarty gets tripped up. He falls to the 50 and has 5.
Well, Kenny Ladler from Vanderbilt in Nashville, Tennessee, was a playmaker there. I mean, we're talking about a free safety in 38 starts, all SEC, led the NCAA in forced fumbles in his senior year in college. I mean, the guy was a flat-out playmaker at Vanderbilt, and he's carried that over to the Canadian Football League.
3 tackles in the first half. 2nd and 5. Riley over the middle, delivered it high. Incomplete, intended for Shamad Chambers. And the Eskimos will have to punt it away. They're 4 for 12 on 2nd down conversions.
Uncharacteristic of this team, especially considering Brandon Zylstra is back. However, Mike Riley, I mentioned the hits and hurries on Kevin Glenn. Mike Riley in that first half, 10 hurries, was hit 8 times and sacked once. That'll throw any quarterback off.
That after last week when really he was untouched in the game against Winnipeg. Line drive bounce for O'Neill to Nick Dembski, 44-yard punt, and Dembski ushered out at the Saskatchewan 27.
Good halftime show. Wasn't country, but it's good halftime show.
There's Glenn in trouble in the pocket, and he gets dropped. Pressure gets there, and it's Kwaku Boateng with the sack. 3rd sack of the year for the rookie, who gets bumped down a place with the acquisition of John Chick, but makes the most of this rep.
Well, obviously he will continue to rotate in and continue to play because he has made a difference. And when the Eskimos have been their best in that 7-game winning streak, they got pressure with just 4 up front, and that pressure's turning up a little bit in the second half.
Mike Moore there too. So 2nd and 17, the screen is bobbled and incomplete. And you're right, pressure there. Even with the screen, it was a little too much for Kevin Glenn to deliver the screen pass successfully. Just the 2nd 2 and out of the game.
Our new teammate Henry Burris at halftime explained the importance of the screen when well executed and how good it is. I used to hate playing against it as a defender, as a free safety, coming up trying to weave your way through offensive linemen out in front of the running back on a screen pass. Difficult to defend when executed properly.
So Bartell to punt. Jamil Smith waiting around the Edmonton 45. Smith back at his 41, but he's got to return up near midfield before he is forced out. So good field position for Mike Riley midway through this 3rd quarter.
Mentioned off the top, he's got 5 straight games and over 300 yards passing, and 3,000 yards in his first 9 games of the season. Only 2 other quarterbacks have done that. They did it 3 times the same 3 years. Now tonight, he needs 180 more yards to get up there into that 300-yard mark, but certainly capable. And a quarterback who leads the league this year in fourth quarter come from behind wins.
Hands it off to Perkins. And Willie Jefferson is there. Also, big Nick James in his second game.
But took some hits in that first half, and that run play and more like it is one way that Carson Welch can slow the pass rush of the Saskatchewan Roughrider D-line.
Second and 8, 4 receivers wide side. Can't get it off, and he'll get dragged down beyond the line of scrimmage. Jefferson was there and got some help from Issa Marabare.
Well, let's take a look. There's Marabare, there's Jefferson, both involved here. Just 3 men up front, 3-man pressure with the spy. Antigua back there spying this back out of the backfield from Ladarius Perkins. 3-man pressure against 5-0 linemen. They get there.
They're 2 and out, number 5 for Edmonton. Debsky lost the handle on it, let it bounce into the end zone, and a good play.
Yep.
Thought he lost the tracking of it, but maybe just a wise play to play the bounce. And that, for you Stats fans, is the first rouge in 15 games for Edmonton. Mark that one down. Dave Moyer doing his homework. Unbelievable, the injuries at the will linebacker spot. We're told that Terrence Bullitt is out. Christoph Malumba Chimanga back in at the will spot. Corey Greenwood was signed in the offseason, an ACL injury, so they went with Adam Konar, then Blair Smith, Malumba Chimanga. Tonight, Terrence Bullitt.
He's down, but the good news is, Chris, there are some of those players you just mentioned coming back real soon for the Edmonton Eskimos. You take a look at a couple of key ones. There is Konar. He's back for next week. Offensively, Hazelton. Also, Blair Smith. He's not on this list, but he's also due back next week, too. So the troops are coming back.
Second down, pressure again. Glenn stays upright, and Marshall drops it in first down territory.
Boy, it's everything he could do for Kevin Glenn to avoid the tackle and the sack there, and then
another injured Eskimo. One of the rush men, and it's big Mike Moore.
Boy, Armando Sewell is just, he just took on Derek Dennis, and
Mike, it's going to be that.
kind of threw him aside. You throw a guy at 200 or 350 pounds aside is some. But another injury. Hopefully for Mike Moore, it looks maybe just had the wind knocked out of him, but
had a couple of sacks last week in Winnipeg, 4 tackles, replacing Euclid Cummings, the latest of the starters to head to the injury list in the 6th game for Edmonton.
if there is a silver lining, it's that young players in this Edmonton lineup have got a chance to play and have produced. So when they all come back from injury, well, not all of them are coming back, but when the majority of them do, and have that much deeper of a roster.
John Chick, by the way, the 70th player to play for the Eskimos this year. Martell's 5R8. Forces Smith back to the 20. That's a 49-yard punt. 5R8. Smith can't escape that time. 5 on the return. Kevin Francis was down in a hurry. So Mike Riley trying to cut into this lead of the Roughriders.
I mean, you saw the hits, hurries, and the 1 sack.
Since the Eskimo touchdown, 4 possessions, this time underneath. A big hit there by Samuel Aguavin on Pascal Lochard.
And they're not just pressures where they're getting close to him. There's some big hits. Even after he throws the ball, I mean, he's getting rocked back there in the pocket. This one here slammed him right down to the ground. It was Eddie Steele on that hit. And even when he's dodging a couple of tackles, they're swarming him tonight and hitting him hard.
2nd and 5. Steps up, looking deep. Downfield jump ball, and almost intercepted by Javon Johnson. Intended for Kenny Stafford, but in double coverage.
Well, yeah, and the play took a long time to develop, and Riley had to hop into the pocket, and when he did, Stafford had just outrun the possibility to get it to him down the field. I mean, you're talking now, he's 70 yards away almost. I mean, that's a long throw, and the timing way off on the deep throw.
Preston Butler thought he had an interception. In and out of the hands of Javon Johnson. 3rd consecutive 2 and out. 6th on the night for the Eskimos. Ron Carter is back to return. He's already made noise on a return and is bumped out by Alex Hoffman-Ellis. Watch Canada's #1 newscast with Lisa Laflamme weeknights at 11. Just over 4 minutes left here in the 3rd quarter. Over 40,000 on hand, and Kevin Glenn trying to lead the Roughriders to their first road win against a Western Division team since 2014. Handed off, and Cameron Marshall dragged down there by Gary Peters, but good first down production on the ground.
Riders going here with an unbalanced set. You could take a look at guard, tackle, extra, almost double tight ends to the side, and one of them, Bladdock, and trying to run off that heavy side of the offensive line. New wrinkle from Stephen McAdoo.
7 for Marshall, 2nd and 3. Back in Bagadevsky, pass over the middle. Intended for Dembski, incomplete. Forrest Hightower there to break it up.
Yeah, that was a great play and great timing from Forrest Hightower. He just, I mean, this is a veteran out of San Jose State, breaks downhill on it, and the timing bang on to get their defense off the field.
And so the 3rd straight 2 and out for the Roughriders. Not much happening offensively so far in the 2nd half. Kicking to Jamel Smith. And Smith gets down the sidelines. He got cranked at the end of the run along the sidelines by Toby Antigua.
He was still in bounds when he took this hit, though, and that's well, on his way out. Spinning and twisting him down that sideline.
Toby Antigua, as a college player, was a receiver. I think he likes being on the other side of the ball. Chris Jones has commended his defensive work, wanted more out of him on the teams. Gets a big hit on that play from Antigua on the punt cover team. Intercepted. Javon Johnson with a lead to the end zone, and it is a pick six. 39 yards for the veteran Javon Johnson.
The hits start to take their toll. And that it just starts to affect the accuracy. It starts to affect the timing from Mike Riley. And he just missed Kenny Stafford, and sitting right behind there was Javon Johnson. Montreal let him go. Saskatchewan picked him up.
We in the building.
Top defensive player in the league in 2011. And that's his 8th touchdown. Extra point from Crapino is good, but the 11-year vet, well, we got a flag down on this convert.
A flag on the convert.
Procedure, Saskatchewan. 5-yard penalty. We'll redo the convert.
Dariush Bladdock shaken up on the play, and they'll have to kick the convert again. But Javon Johnson, as you mentioned, from Montreal, added a little stability. Veteran savvy back there, took over the captain's role in the secondary.
That's for my family back home. Y'all already know. I love y'all.
Kenny Stafford on this route's got to help Mike Riley out a little bit. And what I mean by that is push it upfield a little bit more before you slant it, or at least go full speed. Because watch how Javon Johnson right here, he's going to just sit on this route. He just sits on it. Doesn't backpedal, doesn't have to, because the route's already broken off here. So he's sitting on it when the throw is slightly in front of Kenny Stafford. He's sitting there to take it to the house.
First interception of the season, 33rd of his career, and only Mike Riley had a chance to get him. But AC Leonard able to angle him off until Johnson hit pay dirt.
There's the effort of Riley, though, will be noticed in the film no matter how this ends up this game. They chased him all the way to the end zone and made the tackle once he'd already crossed. He kept with it. But boy, we've seen a lot of different plays here tonight. Different ways to score, block kicks, an interception off the hands of Roosevelt, and now a pick six, Javon Johnson.
And another takeaway for a team that is starting to pile them up.
2-point convert that went the distance the other way after a missed extra point. I mean, seen a lot of different types of plays here tonight. Javon Johnson, though, Chris, was, when early in the year when the secondary was giving up busts, he was really kind of the glue that held it together. It could have unraveled quickly for him, but they just built off it. They corrected the mistakes and built off it. And you heard Sarah talk earlier about Ed Gainey and the talk he had with the coach.
10th takeaway in 2 games. Crapino from 5 yards further back still makes it. Looked like that time Edmonton jumped offside.
Offside, Edmonton. Penalty will be applied on the kickoff.
So 33-7 as the Riders get set to kick it back off. Well, we mentioned that we thought they'd beat 94,000. They did in a big way here tonight.
Way to go, Edmonton.
Yeah,
nice job.
Congratulations. 130,000 pounds of food for the local food bank.
Great crowd here tonight. A lot of Rider fans, but this is full of Edmonton fans, and they just haven't had a chance to take hold of this game and get back behind it. There haven't been enough Edmonton big plays.
There's the other shade of green.
Mike Riley, did you see him on Twitter this week saying, hey, I know that Rider fans travel well and I know they'll be here, but we want the right shade of green up there, green and gold. The fans came out. Now does he have a magic fourth quarter?
Well, this is back-to-back stunners. Big win against BC. And now a huge lead in Edmonton. Edwards returned just beyond the 20, not much more. And Mike Riley going back to work.
That's the run he's been on. Even in the loss to Winnipeg was over 300 yards passing. Can't get all those points back in one drive, so it's one at a time. You get some points before the end of the quarter, and maybe a little momentum.
6th interception tossed on the year by Riley. Underneath it goes. Catch made, but not much there as Casey Rogers goes quickly on Bryant Mitchell, who's had a quiet night after being a go-to guy in recent weeks for Edmonton.
He was, but there's been some shuffling of positions with Bryant Mitchell from inside back outside. Vidal Hazelton was hurt last week versus Winnipeg, and that changed up the lineup one more time for Edmonton.
Hazelton out tonight, number 4 in the league in receiving, heading into this week's action. 2nd and 7, trying to avoid another 2 and out, and looking for a lot here. And Gady got his hands on another one.
You know, he's been close on 3 tonight.
Yep.
Now I'll say 2 probably should have been caught, and 1 was, you know, a knockdown that was going to be a real tough catch. But their last game, coming off the 4 in the Rider record, he had a chance for 3 more tonight. That one he just dropped. Now, I'm not sure if he stays in bounds here, but good double move there by Brandon Zylstra, but the ball just a little high and long. May not have been able to keep his feet in bounds.
Chris Jones mentioned after the 4 interception game that he was a points leader last year. There's a challenge coming up here. But he was nowhere near the lead in points this season. Had a little chat before the BC game.
Edmonton is challenging. There was pass interference on their receiver, number 83. We'll review the play.
So was there interference on Zylstra? It's Jason Moss using his one challenge to try and keep the offense on the field here.
Well, look at the line of scrimmage. Just before we started, guys, look at the marker there. And see if that contact from Casey Rogers is beyond 5 on the double move.
He's beyond 5 now.
Yeah, well beyond 5. And yeah, there was that contact slowing down Brandon Zylstra. That's about 9 yards where the contact is made. You can hand fight when you're running together. But when a receiver is trying to break to an opening on a double move like that, you can't stop his forward momentum or reroute him after 5 yards.
After review, we have illegal contact on Saskatchewan 45. Be a 10-yard penalty, first down.
So that's the initial first down in the second half for the Eskimos. 3 2-and-outs, that pick 6, and Edmonton with just over a minute left in the third quarter gets a first down by penalty. Riley going deep again, wants Zylstra, and Javon Johnson there to break it up. Height advantage for Zylstra, but Johnson hung in there.
This time he does get him out of his back pedal in that little move. Now he's got hand fighting. That's okay, no problem. And just gets his hands in between Zylstra's. Composure when the ball arrives. Great DBs have it.
2-time All-CFL corner. 2nd and 10. Riley underneath. That's picked off. And it's Casey Rogers with his first CFL interception and touchdown.
Receiver slipped.
Ed Gainey broke the dam. Now everybody is getting into the act.
Well, this is a Chris Jones defense that takes the ball and gets pressure on the opposing quarterback, and his receiver slips. And Casey Rogers says, thank you very much to the house. 2 in one game now for the Saskatchewan Roughriders on defense. 2 pick sixes. Both corners.
Another extra point for Krapina, and it's 40 for the Roughriders for the 3rd time this year and 2nd consecutive game.
Yeah, Riley talking to Jason Moss, and Moss basically saying, hey, you can't do anything about this. That's the route that Bryant Mitchell's trying to run. Casey Rogers out that short side corner. Watch him turn his hips. He did the right. That's the right thing to do as a receiver. Get that DB to turn his hips. But you see when he went down, he couldn't come back to the ball, and Casey Rogers takes it to the house.
Hey, Mama, I love you. Alex, you see that baby? We gonna eat now. Hey, Pops, this all you.
Interception total climbing, and there's not many times you see Mike Riley his head down like that. He's taking a beating.
Well, there'll be some shockwaves from this game to reverberate around the West Division. Looks like we got a 5-team race. Edwards on the return. Up beyond the 30 to the 33. Spencer Moore the tackle on the final play of the 3rd quarter. And a stunning 3rd quarter with back-to-back pick sixes for the Roughriders. Javon Johnson, Casey Rogers adding to the Rough Rider lead.
Against a Western opponent on the road. That's been obviously well documented all week long as they headed into this game. But
Banjo Bowl 2014, as you mentioned, 14 straight regular season games and 1 postseason game. Duke Williams can't make that tough catch down the sidelines.
Sometimes you used to say back in the old days that if you're in a bit of a slump with turnovers and interceptions, especially interceptions in the back end, that they'll come in bunches. Ed Gainey got him started against BC, and they've come in bunches. 2 pick sixes tonight on defense.
7 takeaways last week, 4 and a pair of touchdowns this week. Mike Riley's missed on his last 5 passes, 2 of them intercepted for touchdowns. 2nd and 10. Pressure coming. AC Leonard adding insult to injury.
I would be surprised if we don't see James Franklin get the first reps of the year for him pretty soon. I'm not sure that.
And for the Eskimos, who have been battered and bruised with injuries all year, a feel-good story to start 7-0, but nothing's feeling good right now. Eighth 2 and out. O'Neal, big kick. Dipsky touched in his hands, live football, and it's going to be into the end zone for an Eskimo touchdown. Koshi Mwamba.
This game has been bizarre. We are seeing some wild plays that we haven't seen before. This ball's touched and dribbled forward. That's a rule that's legal in the CFL. You dribble the ball forward, and Kenny Ladler knows. He understood it and batted the ball forward.
Greg Morris unable to find it after it went off the hands initially of Dembski. And Koshi Mwamba ends up with the ball to give the Eskimos a little life.
See Kevin Glenn immediately looking to the bench and trying to settle everybody down. Don't get excited. Not a big deal. Meanwhile, the Edmonton Eskimos saying this is what we needed. Get a little bit of momentum and get going. Now Mike Riley stays in.
So going for 2.
Having said that, it is a monster mountain to climb, obviously.
Four for 5 in 2-point attempts this year. It goes to the Reeds. Williams got 2. And it's 40-15. But Koshi Mwamba with the touchdown on this misplayed punt by Nick Dembski. Heads up by Ladler. And a special teams touchdown for Edmonton.
Touchdown, but
in the film room, that one will be a major plus for Ladler, especially considering the score. Mwamba with his first career.
Tried it.
They're going to try the short. They get their hands on it.
Got it.
It's Eskimo football. Flags on the play.
Did it travel 10 yards?
Somebody offside, or it's going to go against Saskatchewan.
Offside, Edmonton number 7. 5-yard penalty and we'll re-kick.
So Josh Woodman beat the kick of the ball across the plane. And
number 7. Let's take a look when the ball is kicked where he is. Just across the line with the left leg. It didn't even touch the ground. And he's the first one to touch it.
Like he was trying to time up with O'Neill, who might have just hesitated before kicking the football. But it's the second penalty of the game against Woodman, and this one hurts. And an injured Saskatchewan Roughrider. I think it's Antonio Longino, who's a newcomer to the lineup in his first game with the Roughriders out of Arizona State.
Got involved. We got a 2-point missed convert attempt return, 113 yards.
And this time kicked away, Keenan LaFrance. So it's been a 3-phase performance by the Roughriders. 2 touchdowns on offense, 2 touchdowns by the defense, a special teams touchdown.
And when they do turn the ball over, 28 points off and 4 touchdowns off the 4 turnovers. Kevin Glenn wants to calm things down. Don't give Mike Riley any thought of what would be a huge comeback. I mean, that's a long way down still.
So in the first 5 games, the Riders had 7 points off turnovers. They have 42 in the last 2 games. And the ball off up the middle, and not much there.
The score is 47. And there are times when players are going to, say, oh, it's 47, this one's gone. But I want to show you Kenny Ladler. This is for young players watching this game tonight. If you're a young guy, don't look at the score. Just play as hard as you can every single down. Kenny Ladler got something going there. He's the first one down on the punt. He caused the issues for Nick Dembski. He kept it alive with a little tap. Mwamba gets the touchdown, but he doesn't care it's 47. He's playing hard every play. I want to show you that again. Never know.
2nd and 8 after the Marshall 2-yard pickup. A pass that's incomplete. Rob Bagg unable to pull that one off the turf. And the offense is stalled for Saskatchewan. 4th straight 2 and out. Maybe because they've gotten conservative protecting a big lead. Well, it's been a strange night. and stranger things have happened, but the Eskimos need some big plays on offense in a hurry. Taking it right down, and it should be a time count.
Will be.
Time count violation, Saskatchewan. 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
And that might have been of the intentional variety, because they're in decent field position. Bartel can still pin the Eskimos with a good punt. And they've taken 20 seconds more off the clock. Not a great punt, though. And it's Smith on the run. 49-yard punt, and he's taken down around the 29-yard line. We'll get in the action this football season with CFL Fantasy. Build your ultimate squad, challenge your friends, and compete to win weekly prizes. Go to tsn.ca/CFL Fantasy to sign up. A lot of guys have been riding number 13's wave through the first 7-8 games of the year, but
just a warrior too. I mean, look at the got some blood on his football pants, and
James Franklin looked like he
was
warming up just in case. The touchdown on the mishandled punt probably changed Jason Moss's mind. Gets tossed down by Enoch Mwamba.
Took a while to develop, and usually when that pass play takes that long, it's an offensive line holding call.
Holding, Edmonton number 67. Half distance to the goal, repeat 1st down.
Colin Kelly at right tackle tonight. Called on the hold. Team that won its first 7. And barring a miracle comeback here, could fall to 3rd place by the end of the week, even at 7-2. And oh yeah, Calgary back-to-back on the horizon. Riley underneath, catch made by Chambers, bounced off the contact by Mwamba, and gets the penalty yardage and one more back.
Yeah, I think that's been a factor tonight. And that hit from Enoch Mwamba. Enoch Mwamba goes up, and this is, again, it's 40-15 crossing route after the penalty, and he just steps into this hit. I mean, I think the physicality from the Saskatchewan Roughriders defensively tonight has been at another level. And that has a trickle-down effect. That was a big hit, too.
One of the things mentioned by Chris Jones after the BC game, he thought the physicality was at a level that he hadn't seen earlier in the season, and now back-to-back dominant. Jefferson with the hit, but Riley gets it away, and Watson drops it, and the Roughriders have it. Another takeaway. And Saskatchewan football.
And another hit taken by 13.
5th takeaway, 12 in 2 games, and Eric Dargan ends up with that fumble recovery.
Let's take a look and make sure. I'll know that you're not down if you're on top of another player.
Yeah, Guavin spun him down, but he didn't hit the turf, and the ball popped loose. So the forced fumble by Guavin, and the Roughriders get the ball right back.
Hey, I want to keep this too.
Ball at the Edmonton 21. Glenn still pitching, looking into the end zone. Incomplete.
That call surprises me.
Duron Carter almost made the circus catch in tight coverage.
Well, you know, it's a Western opponent. They play Edmonton twice. The next time will be the last game of the regular season. So I get all that, but incompletion stops the clock immediately. You know, I think that surprises me on that call, that they're not just grinding it with the run game and running as much time off the clock.
Second and 10. Setting up the screen with the flag. It's Dembski. Nick Dembski would have the first down at the 10. Let's check the flag.
Saskatchewan 68.
Yeah, Thaddeus Coleman had his arms in the air.
Saskatchewan 68. 10-yard penalty. First down.
John Chick got up, kind of hands in the air, and Coleman still trying to argue his case.
Riders' top offensive lineman last year, making his 26th consecutive start. Second and 20. Underneath it goes Cameron Marshall. And it's going to take 4 Eskimos to try and get him down. Whistle sounds. It'll be 3rd and 5. And on comes Carpina.
Well, we've seen block kicks tonight. Pick sixes. Is there a blocked field goal in there for the Edmonton Eskimos?
Be a 23-yard attempt.
Oh, and 1 man short for Saskatchewan. They have to get Willie Jefferson out there.
And it's in, but it looked like Ladler may have jumped offside. And if he did, it'd be a first down. And that's what Chris Jones is signaling. So a couple of costly offsides here against Edmonton. The one on the short kick by Woodman, and now I believe it was
Offside.
Ladler.
Edmonton. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Didn't give us a number.
I'm not sure what those notes that Jason Moss is writing down right there. I'm not sure, but there was one column on one side that had a few notes, and then a column on the other side that had a bunch of notes. I'm thinking the plus-minus plays. There's a lot more in the minus category tonight for Edmonton. Created by Saskatchewan.
Vernon Adams in to run the red zone offense. And some confusion here. They're going to call a timeout.
Saskatchewan.
3-6. They have 13 men. And so Adams to the sidelines. Not sure if they had too many or whether Jarius Jackson wanted to make sure Adams understood the right play call.
And Chris Jones has been, this deal didn't just happen to get Vernon Adams Jr. Chris Jones has been trying to make this happen for some time now. He likes him. 2-0 as a starter in the CFL.
And he'll take off. And around the corner, drilled out around the 3. He said, as elusive a quarterback as any I've coached against. One of the reasons he wanted Vernon Adams on his side. So I don't think he looked too happy with that. Maybe because they ran out of bounds.
Yeah, that's exactly here. That's it.
Running.
But yeah, not a huge sample size on Vernon Adams in the CFL, but. Bo Baldwin, a coach in college.
They call the same play, quarterback option, cuts it back. That's elusive. That's a touchdown. Vernon Adams in the end zone for the first time as a Saskatchewan Roughrider.
Now, this is what he likes about him, and we saw early in the game, when it was the first half, that Vernon Adams got a series. Took over after Kevin Glennon got him into scoring range. He got a few plays after that. They ended up with a field goal on that drive, but Vernon Adams working right into the second spot right away. Brandon Bridge had been the number 2 with Marquise Williams number 3. That's changed.
Lots changed in a couple weeks. Wow. And with that, 35 points off turnovers tonight. 47-15, and still for Chris Jones.
Yep.
Back-to-back Winnipeg. If New Mosaic held, well, you name the number. How many tickets do you think they could sell for a Labor Day Classic this year? Riders coming off 2 impressive wins like this, and the Bombers
Illegal kick out of bounds.
7-2.
Number 21. Ball will be placed at the 45-yard line.
5 wins in a row for the Bombers, and it looks like we'll get a first look at James Franklin in 2017.
Those are last season's numbers off the bench, but a quarterback not named Mike Riley has had a rep in a game for Edmonton this year.
2015, Franklin did get 3 starts when Riley was hurt. 10 touchdowns, 1 interception. Who hasn't really been able to get on track tonight, and there's Aaron Milton, the converted fullback to linebacker, with the tackle.
Here's the numbers for Mike Riley. A couple interceptions, both for TDs. One when his receiver slipped. It has been a tough night, and I'm not sure how many ice bags he's going to need, but it's going to be more than a couple.
Franklin to the air and caught by Williams for a first down into Rough Rider territory.
Talked to Brock Sunderland, the GM here in Edmonton, about James Franklin before the game, and he's poised to become a free agent in February at the end of this season. And while most people think he'll become a free agent and test the market, Sunderland told me they're doing everything, and they want to do everything in their power to sign him and bring him back as an Edmonton Eskimo. They're going to work on that.
Rumor mill has linked him to a possible reunion with Chris Jones, but you wonder with Vernon Adams now acquired. Well, James Franklin's got a long time before his story is sorted out for next season. Got an injured Eskimo. It's Duke Williams getting attention. And you had some of the returning guys in the next few weeks. Darius Bowman likely to be back for Labor Day, and the Eskimos will welcome him back with open arms. Gang tackled here is Duke Williams by 4 Rough Riders, and a little slow to get up.
Physical game from Saskatchewan Rough Riders tonight. But you're right, they get Bowman back. They may get Vidal Hazelton back. He's got a bit of a hamstring, but they're optimistic that if not this coming week, that'll be the week after for Hazelton, and then Jason Moss may have some decisions to make. Good to see that it looks like Duke Williams will be fine.
First down for the Eskimos. Back in the hands of Perkins. And down to the 47-yard line. Taken down by Nick James and company. This will be the 5th win for Saskatchewan in their last 30 games against Western opponents. 3 of the 5 wins against the green and gold. High pass and a big hit on Kenny Stafford, who makes the catch and a first down. And there's Aaron Milton involved again. Former Eskimo backup fullback. James Franklin, quick hitter. Caught by Zylstra, taken down by Javon Johnson.
And James Franklin just trying to take advantage of his reps, get some playing time, playing action.
Second and short yardage, flags fly as he plunges ahead, what looks like a first down. A lot of the backups getting rep time for Saskatchewan on defense as well.
Offside, Saskatchewan. 5-yard penalty, first down.
That front, including Mac Henry now, Longino, James in the front. Here is Franklin to Stafford. Catch made and brought down by Casey Rogers. While they're back, Jay Onright, Dan O'Toole make their highly anticipated return to TSN. SC with Jay and Dan, presented by Tim Hortons, begins Monday, September 4th at midnight Eastern, 9 Pacific, across the TSN network.
That won't be any
our
fun.
Network may not be the same after that.
That won't be any fun at all, that show. Good to have him back.
Perkins a first down as the clock rolls in salvage time here for Edmonton. We're just heating up though. Eskimos, Calgary back-to-back. Saskatchewan, Winnipeg back-to-back. Next couple of weeks are going to be awfully interesting. Hand off, Perkins to the 5, touchdown. Ladarius Perkins with his first rushing touchdown for Edmonton.
Well, Franklin just went in there and took advantage. Now different defense, different intensity level. The Saskatchewan defense now obviously giving him a little more room, playing off, not giving up just one play deep or anything like that. Made Franklin kind of pitch and catch it down the field, but mop-up time a little different, or garbage time in this case when you're on the wrong end of the score.
And they'll go for 2 once again. And the play stopped.
Time count violation, Edmonton number 2. 5-yard penalty, we'll repeat the convert.
So they'll back it up. And now a different personnel grouping is sent in. Calvin McCarty, Kenny Stafford, and Duke Williams check in. From 8 yards out for 2. Franklin, Stafford, got it. So it's 47-23 at the 3-minute warning here at Commonwealth Stadium. Leapfrog ahead and take over first and bump Edmonton to 3rd place heading into Labor Day with a short kick. And Roughriders got it. Looked like Woodman got a hand on it before it went 10 yards, but Saskatchewan will take the football.
Yeah, that looked like it was touched by Woodman about 7 yards.
Illegal touching on the kickoff by Edmonton before the ball traveled 10 yards. It'll be Saskatchewan's ball at that point. First down.
Yes, it gets interesting in the West Division all of a sudden. This win puts more pressure on the BC Lions. They play Ottawa. Calgary, as you mentioned, against Toronto tomorrow night.
Now Brandon Bridge will get a series. Low snap, but gets into the hands of Keenan LaFrance. And LaFrance likes to run against Edmonton. Down inside the 25-yard line. 18 for him, mentioned in the first half. He went 25 for 157 and a touchdown in the Eastern Final in the snow last year in the nation's capital. And with LaFrance at tailback, there's different ratio possibilities for Chris Jones. This time stuffed. John Chick had enough of that.
Well, it's been more like a home game for Kevin Glenn. Didn't quite get to 300. We showed you that graphic at the beginning of the game where Kevin Glenn so much better at home than he was on the road. And that 19 of 31, 240. The one interception tonight bounced off the hands of Naaman Roosevelt, who had a big game tonight. But it bounced off his hands and was intercepted by Johnny Adams.
One of more than a few strange plays we've had tonight. 2nd and 12. Bridge, draw to LaFrance, spun away for the first contact and rumbles down to the 15 and has a first down.
Brandon Bridge running the offense now, and the thing about when you play backups is that they're just playing hard. They just want to get their reps and again get on film, show the coaches that whenever they need them, beginning of the game or in mop-up time, that they're going to execute, and that's what the backups are trying to accomplish here, whether it's James Franklin, Brandon Bridge, or Keenan LaFrance.
LaFrance again, straight ahead, drilled down around the 12-yard line. Roughriders in range for hitting 50 tonight. Of course, Calgary hit the 60 mark earlier this season. Second and 7. Bridge slant to Ron Carter. Tossed down, he stretched out. And he broke the plane, a touchdown. Good to have the big wingspan at 6'5", 205, and he has his 6th touchdown of the year, 5th in 4 games.
And clearly the Riders in the bye week had lots of time to work on their touchdown celebrations in the end zone. But here's the catch and the stretch, and there it is.
No doubt about that.
Across the plane for Carter. 5 touchdowns now in the last 4 games.
Well, in a quirk of the schedule, a team with its second bye playing one that's still waiting for its first. And it's 54 on the board for the Roughriders tonight.
Get noticed like a pro in the 2017 GMC Sierra Elevation Edition.
Hey, what up, Dad? What up, Monterey? Hey, take notes. Celebrations on point. On point.
They're getting creative on those celebrations.
In the
A
league.
lot on point tonight.
Yeah, that was a pretty good catch.
We mentioned
Best celebrations in the league.
Yeah, that was a pretty good catch, but
mentioned coming off a bye, and Chris Jones had mentioned a couple of black eyes. The loss to Calgary coming off the bye, in which they were embarrassed, although some late points made the score respectable, 27-10, and then the same kind of story in the next road game against BC. But tonight, off the bye and on the road, they've been the dominant team
against the 7-win Eskimos.
Nissan Titan Player of the Game brought to you by the Nissan Titan, official vehicle of the Canadian Football League. It's the Nissan Titan Players of the Game tonight.
Yeah, honorable mention to Naaman Roosevelt, who had a big first half offensively, but we're going to give it to the Saskatchewan defense. 4 turnovers created, 2 touchdowns. They scored off pick sixes, 2 sacks, 8 2-and-outs forced against the Edmonton offense, and they played with tremendous physicality tonight. I mean, they were hitting people.
Franklin, slant pattern, caught by Bryant Mitchell, up at the 45-yard line.
I think Casey Rogers just hurt his shoulder or something in his right arm on that tackle.
And at this time of the game, you just, on either side, don't want to see a guy lost for any period of time when the game's been out of reach for quite some time. He's got a lot of subs in, but he can't sub everybody, and Casey Rogers is a key guy in the secondary getting attention here. While we have the opportunity, a reminder, doubleheader action tomorrow. Lions, as you mentioned, with a little heat on them now, against the Red Blacks in the nation's capital at 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific, followed by the Argos and Stampeders. Ricky Ray coming off that big game with S.J. Green last week against the Stamps, with a chance to hit first place at the halfway point of the season.
Chris, just noticing, just like against the Lions, Deron Carter.
They are moving him.
Yeah, Deron Carter is playing the short side corner again now, working with Ed Gainey. He almost had a pick on the 4th interception by Gainey when he played at the end of that BC game.
Twelve turnovers in the past 2 games. Duke Williams against Deron Carter, and you saw the Rider bench saluting the fans who are still here, all of them wearing Rider green. Franklin will get dragged down across the 50-yard line.
Deron Carter was hoping that James Franklin would throw that up to Bryant Mitchell. He was tracking him all the way down the field. Look at this. Playing that corner now. He just gets out of his, no back pedal needed there. Now he's just running routes. He's just running routes with the receivers.
Chris Jones has said he's seen him in practice against Caleb Hawley, and Naaman Roosevelt told him he can handle the duties in a pinch, and he's back in for the 2nd straight game. I think he wants some action on the hot corner.
Well, and it gives Chris Jones, though, some flexibility in how he builds his roster game to game. If he can have a guy that could actually play both ways in a pinch and play the corner. Now, if someone went down early and he had to play a whole game, we'll see. But
2nd and 10. Franklin underneath. Williams the catch. Shook off the tackle. And the ball comes loose. And who's got it? I think Edmonton got back on it.
And you got to get your fundamentals down when it comes to tackling if you're Carter. But
well, you've just lost Casey Rogers, and look at who he's got to tackle. A big guy here, Duke Williams, and couldn't bring him down. 30-yard play. Williams fortunate to get it back. Going to test him again, and that one too high, intended for Watson.
So this time he didn't want to give him that much space, so he didn't have to make a tackle from distance in case they threw it to him. So he got up and jams Bryant Mitchell on the line. It wasn't big Duke Williams, but pretty good jam.
Second and 10. Here comes pressure. Pass is caught. And Zylstra gets ushered out by Carter.
Big win for Saskatchewan, though. We showed you the standings and that they climbed right back into the race here, but they had to start checking some boxes, and one was to beat a good team at home at Mosaic. They did that in convincing fashion against the BC Lions 2 weeks ago, and then to win this one on the road against a Western opponent. They're starting to check those boxes, and like we said off the top, improve every single game.
Here's Franklin to the end zone, and Mitchell's got it. Touchdown. James Franklin with a touchdown pass to Bryant Mitchell.
He's trying to get Mitchell back so they can go for two. Trying to close the gap. I mentioned they play each other twice. The last game of the season, these two will go at it again, and so points for and against, you never know. So many games to be played still. Carter thought that Ed Gainey was helping him over the top, and
Franklin going back there for Duke Williams, who brings it down for two more to get the Eskimos into the 30s.
No, these are points like that Kenny Ladler play that Jason Moss will look for. You know, you as a coach, you look for the guys that keep playing hard, keep working, no matter what the score. Franklin's made a couple plays. I know it's different when the defense got that big a lead. They're playing off and a little softer, but
well, just an 85-point night here at Commonwealth. 41,738 were here. Not many left, but the ones that stayed have relished what they've seen from the visiting side. You talked about the boxes. There's a big box that is Labor Day every year.
yeah, oh yeah.
That's one you want to check no matter how the rest of the season's gone. Different kind of short kick. It'll get brought down by Devin Bailey. And 3 seconds left for one more knee by the Riders offense.
So, and Chris, Labor Day back-to-backs. We're still working on the logistics.
Okay.
Loudest crowd, Mosaic or in Winnipeg. Back-to-back games, we're going to bring the meter.
You're going to bring your decibel machine, are you? It's going to be loud both places. Be fun to see who's loudest. Brandon Bridge takes the last seconds off the clock. Well, this one big for Saskatchewan. They beat a Western opponent. They beat a Western opponent on the road, and they moved to 500 as Chris Jones has another emphatic victory. All Roughriders tonight as they score on the special teams, on defense, and on offense. 54-31 the final. So long from Commonwealth Stadium in Edmonton. SportsCenter is now